But that also means that we still have a lot of work to be done. We still have little representation by women. Even mukatarisa pamaspace panapa, Dr. Ranga is all over the place. Isho ye women. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Mukaenda kuma Twitter spaces, you find there are 10 people on the speakers, 9 men, 1 woman. Whereas in terms of population distribution, tiri 50-50, or if not in Zimbabwe, it's actually 51 women, 49 or something percent men. So unfortunately, women have been sidelined in all spheres of life, whether it's education, whether it's healthcare provision, whether it's my jobs. You would find inini Dr. Rangane did the same job with my female counterpart. And you might find that in some societies, the man doctor will earn more than the woman doctor, although you are doing exactly the same work. And that's something that, as we celebrate women today, we need to recognize that those imbalances exist. Uh, and almost all societies that I know, they're trying to do something about it. But we're not doing enough fast enough. So if you go to Indonesia, unonzwa vachinzi madzimai haabvumidzwe kudhiraivha motokari, anokwanisa kungodhiraivha zvimudhudhudhu. You know, stuff like that. That should not be even talked about. Or inini, I mean, I want to earn as much money as I can, what the employer is willing to pay me. But I don't think it's right for me to say because I'm a man, therefore I should earn more money than a woman. It should just be like that. And it's not like we should give women their rights. These rights are God given, they're inalienable. What we need to do is to recognize them. We need to give them equal say, equal participation. And there's always going to be, just like at work, some people are good at one thing, others are good at math, and we're good at technology, and we're good at exponential growth, stuff like that. Everybody has their area of expertise. That's to say, to acknowledge which men and women, there are differences that are God given, that are created by God. That's how we are made. But that's not the same thing as then men tell women how and where to act, how to do their thing. We should all be able to participate. We should all be able to have access to my resources. Kwete kuti, like, what we know, kuti kana tichida kuendesa vana tu kuchikoro tinoti ngatiendese the boy tosiya musikana kumba. That's completely wrong. I know we have done that as a society in Zimbabwe, and those are some of the things when we talk about uniting, building, and transforming our country. I hope those things are corrected so that we don't have a society where we sideline a part of our population, especially women. Because women are very productive, by the way. You take them, you make them lead, they give clarity, they lead with excellence. And we have seen my trends are really encouraging in some countries. Like now, to name a vice president, kunana United States kunoku, we have a female vice president. Kunana UK, we have had prime ministers, women. We have done some work in Zimbabwe as well. We shouldn't make it seem like we're not doing something in our country. We have done also, but I think that we can do more. We have had my vice president like Rana Joyce Mujuru. That's progress. We need to double down on that. We need to make sure there is access to resources, access to everything. But those are my 2 cents. And the question about are women doing enough, Sister Barbara? Well, women are trying, and I see them trying. People like yourself inspire all of us, the work you do. And I know sometimes we women tend to intimidate women who stand up, but people like you and many others have stood up and they have continued to speak and they have continued to inspire young girls across the world, young girls and boys, to say, hey, listen, women can equally lead. If they can run a house, they can run a country, they can run a company. Thank you very much, Sister Barbara.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Ranga. That was very powerful. You know, the way you spoke. Uh, it's really encouraging to hear men speaking like you are, because in the past, most men would speak negatively about women and say the women's place is in the kitchen. You wouldn't advocate for a woman to be a president or a vice president. In fact, in our culture, you would label a prostitute if you vie for positions that were seen as a masculine, or were seen as fit for men. You know, women were characterized as objects that are only good in childbearing and the house chores, house managers. And yet, like you're rightfully saying, Dr. Ranga, women are organizers. Women were born organizers. And look at the countries where women are in leadership. Those countries are progressive. I can't remember this country where there was a president who just resigned.
New Zealand. I mean, that was New Zealand,
Yes.
sister.
People, men and women, they were celebrating the life of that woman. She only did 5 years, only one term, but people wanted her. You know, this is the kind of development that you get when you elect women, Dr. Ranga. Even in Rwanda, more than 50% of its parliament, they are women. And look at Rwanda. It's one of the fastest growing economy in Africa, Rwanda. And the parliament it's the majority are women. So when in terms of development, when this gender equality was coined, they had seen the United Nations, they were sitting my conferences, my congress, my summits, they would name them various names, and the conventions, what, since the time immemorial, they will sit every year discussing developmental issues, but there were no women. And then they saw it was a disaster leaving women behind. So that's when they started this issue of gender equality, advocating for gender equality. I want to give my speaker is what's her name? I don't know whether it's a she or it's a he. God of mercy. I want to give him or her opportunity to speak, and then we'll continue with this conversation. Conversations like these, Dr. Ranga, they are so healthy. I like them. Kumbova situation whereby people will be doing the listening. We want to interact and hear what other people say about this. God of mercy, please go ahead.
Ngiyabonga, Sister Barbara. Good evening, everyone. When you touch the issue of women being looked down upon in politics, I just noticed that is even in groups, whether it's in WhatsApp or any group, any political group that has got discussions, if a woman is very strong in argument and then that woman is labeled a bitch, like hauna murume iwe. Like if you are strong, they will just tell you hauna murume. Like women are just viewed as people who are not supposed to voice their ideas. If you say out what you think, then wakunzi uri challenge, uri hure, unolabelwa. Saka inini, I always wonder say like in our country in Zimbabwe, how far are we kuti tione vanhukadzi vachikwikwidza vachirespectewa vachikwikwidza kutora mapositions mahombe chaiwo kuita like a president. It looks like it's a far-fetched idea munyika medu, because vice maybe yes, but ndikafunga kuti kunyatsotungamirirwa chaiko nemukadzi, how far are we, not only in Zimbabwe, but let me just say in Southern Africa, or maybe let me say in Southern Africa, because I'm in South Africa and I don't see it either kuti zvikuratidza sokuti vanhukadzi vangatora mapositions akadai. And yet I think like what Sister Barbara said, vanhukadzi zvinhu zvavanoita zvakarongeka, ndosaka takazosvika pabunzi musha mukadzi. I think because zvinozivikanwa kuti hatina that physical power but mubrain umu dzinodhonza pakuronga. Saka I think nyika dzinorespecta vanhukadzi ndosaka dzichibudirira, and I hope nesuwo tichasvikawo pastage yakadaro.
Yeah. Thank you so much, God of Mercy. But I just wanted to ask you a question. Where a woman is being labeled, who will be in the forefront?
In most cases, okay, like I would say in my case, I have been called that a lot of times, but obviously I've been called that by the people who are in the ruling party. When you argue with them, the only thing, if you are a woman, at the end of the day, because uchivachallenja ukangochallenja ukachallenja unonzwa kunzi iwe hatidi kana kumbotaura newe kana kuti une murume hauna. Apa munhu hakuzivi, munhu asingakuzivi munongotisangana pamatwitter space kana kuti muwhatsapp kana kuti chi, then munhu conclusion yake, because you're argumentative, no, for once you can't be married, you can't.
Yeah, okay. God of Mercy, yes, you bring in another dimension whereby most men, when they are challenged by powerful women, they will label those women. You know the reason why they do that? They know kuti in our culture, being labeled that H word, you know, it's like it's something out of this world. No one wants to be labeled that, even if someone is doing that, maybe the sexual, the commercial part. You know our culture. When they label you like that, you tend to lose dignity.
It's a way of lowering your self-esteem. Like you lower your self-esteem so that you lose your confidence.
Yes, so I just wanted to say, God of Mercy Kuti, the other angle that I want to come in from is most of the times women they pull each other down. Women they will pull each other down, they will call each other names. And most of the times, if you see these women in the forefront pulling other women down, there will be men behind. Men will be oiling, vachidira petrol, ndivo vanenge vachibvisa mari, vakadzi vachipedza kutukana vakuenda kunogocha kana kuti vakupiwa $10 esadza, magona mamugadzirira size. Apa vanenge vachidzinga mukadzi anenge achida kucontesta nemurume. So you see, but also on the other hand, I think it's lack of education. Women need to be, a lot of women need to be taught these issues. I don't know whether there are other people who might want to speak on this topic. Please lift your hand. Today I'm not dictating. I'm not going to give anyone a mic. Please simudzai maoko tione, toda kutaura, because ndikakupai mamaiki mozoita ungati ndakufosekedzai. So please, let's just be open and discuss these issues. Yes, Dr. Ranga, when you spoke about the women issues, you articulated them so well, and I want to pose a question to you, because you seem to be a champion, a champion, a gender champion is
Sister Barbara, my muted.
Then and mute.
I have no idea. Vunzai CCC diaspora.
Sorry. Ndikureketa panapa ndamboona kuti
anozviziva bvunzai sisi diaspora inozviziva zvaaita.
Vakandimaka ndokubvisa chief.
Mike iri kure neni ndapota musatombonditaurira
ndokubvisa chief nezuro futi
zvinoitika pasisi diaspora pane nyaya. But anyhow.
Okay, ndandati amenoti mandinzwere Dr. Ranga ndakati you articulated so well the women issues and I was saying kuti in the gender in gender studies, men who support women initiatives are called gender champions. So you are one of them, the gender champions, the new men who supports my initiatives. But I want to ask you, Dr. Ranga, would you allow your wife to participate in politics?
Well, Sister Barbara, the answer is I wouldn't allow her. I would let her do what she sees fit. You know, she can ask for my opinion. She can consult me in terms of her choices about where to work, what kind of activism to do. But really, she doesn't need me to give her permission. Yeah, even when I do something, I will let her know what I'm thinking and what I'm planning to do. If she has anything she wants to add, especially if there are things that might affect the whole family. But really, women don't need permission from men to do what needs to be done. Of course, you know, as a family, you work as a family. People need to know if there is a problem, because those are the people who are gonna watch on you. But I don't think it should be about me giving permission to my wife. It should be about letting my wife live her life to the best of her ability. It shouldn't be with baba vasati vandibvumisa. Of course, I know kunze uko tinenge tiri kuti ndikabvunzwa something chandisingade kuita ndotanga ndamboti regai munobvunza adzimai. You know. But anyway, I hope that answers your question, Sister Barbara.
Yes. Thank you so much for being so open, because I've often engaged in discussions with other men. If you ask them this question, they will quickly say no. And then for me, politics. Why? Nokuti kupolitics kunoita chihure ndikati, so iwewe are you saying kuti ndo zvamuri kuita kupolitics zvekunyenga vakadzi wevanhu zvikanzi no? Ndikati, so you know, the men tend to be overprotective of women, so much that women that have got capacity, they would not show their full capacity because they will be limited. You know,
Right.
the fact that they are housewives. That's why you see most women who are active in politics are single. And that's the reason why you see when they want to rise, they are quickly labeled that H word, so that they can demoralize them.
It's a shame.
Which is very unfortunate. So I said, Kuti, this is a discussion. Those that are joining us, we are discussing, or we are celebrating Women's Day. And like I said before, Kuti, it's Women's Day, but we cannot be women without men. We are not complete without men. Men are also not complete without women. Dr. Ranga, you said, Kuti, women wakakosha. Women wakakosha. We are here because of women. Daipa pasina wakadzi, we are not going to be here. And ivo wakadzi, daipa pasina warume, they were not going to be there. So ndosaka pachi emphasize nyaya equality, and hakuna munhu akakosha kudarika mumwe. It's just that this women equality thing, it came about when women were marginalized because of culture, because of religion. But at the end of the day, men and women should exist side by side. There should not be competition. And I think men should support women that want to take up leadership positions, even in politics. They should be the first ones to support, even to fund or to.
maitwa muted futi, my sister Barbara. Nhasi muri patight.
maybe ndini ndaguma, maybe it's me ndaguma nechiguni. So I was
Pane
saying,
zvamuri kuita.
pandakabata phone handisaka this mic iri pa, maybe ndinge ndatacha nechiguni, maybe ndini. So I was saying kuti Dr. Ranga and all other, I'm trying to approve Jory, then is it Denford Jory to be a speaker?
My brother Denford. Amuazive my brother Denford repa Saturday.
Ndoazio. So and I think was speaker now.
Hello, my brother Denford.
Yes, brother Denford wasati wapinda. Ndanchida kuti in order for us kuti tifambe pamwe chete. This nyaya gender equality, we are seeing kuti it's like, in for me ndikuona ngati it's a fallacy. You know why? Because pacho panonzi gender equality, pano kana kusarudzwa, so vakadzi vanenge vakawanda, kana wasarudzwa wosarudzwa murume, then wasarudzwa varume mapositions ese ari powerful, wonzi ndingi warume. Warume uzoona kuti no tawandisa, zonzi aiwa takuda gender.
That is so true. That is so true, Sister Barbara. You know, that's the truth, my sister, God of mercy. That's just how the world runs.
Edi munoziva kuti nyaya inonetsa manje ipapo ndeyekuti vakadzi chaivo chaivoka havadi kuvhotera umwe mukadzi kuti atungamire.
Saka ipapa apo ndipo patine dambudziko, okay? So like munomo, I will tell you, my sister Barbara, I know you hadn't finished your line of thought. But the idea that Kamala Harris would be, you know, on the ticket now, Joe Biden. A lot of women were excited, but you would sense, I'm like, listen, guys, this is beyond what you think about her and stuff. It's about the symbolism. Okay, now you have a champion in the White House who can represent your causes. Hillary Clinton, when she ran for president, she is too ambitious and stuff like that, which is just pure conjecture, nonsense, because somehow we have been socialized a certain way. And that is very unfortunate. And that's why we need, for the future that we are building, that's happening already, we need to rethink how we look at those things. So I want my sisters to be the most powerful women on the face of the earth, or powerful human beings on the face of the earth, to the extent that they can. My daughters, I would want the same for them. My wife, I want the same for them, because what we have seen is things are not falling apart when Mai is in charge in the house, right? So why would they suddenly fall apart because now they are running for office? Or they want to be the CEO. Anyway, I don't want to even promote some of the reasons that people used to say women shouldn't lead. And the simple answer is, listen, if you are capable, you are ready, you want to do it, go ahead and do it. You don't need Dr. Ranga's permission. Do it for yourself. Of course, you have to talk like any family. Can people worry about security like in a country like Zimbabwe? Even the men, sometimes they fear to participate because of these people who are abusing state power. But those are two separate matters. In terms of just participation, please. Thank you, Sister Barbara.
Okay, ndisati tauya kupart 2 ndida kupa champion Denford. Champion Denford, we are just having a discussion here about women, or maybe about this gender equality, since we are commemorating International Women's Day. And like I said in my opening remarks, to say it's Women's Day, but we cannot celebrate it alone. We have to celebrate it together with men, because we cannot exist without men, and men can also not exist without women. So ndo panouya issue equality. kuti akuna inonzi a lesser part, a lesser being. We are equal because no one can survive. No gender can survive without the other, with other gender. That's how God created us. Nature created us equal, although even if women wakabviswa mbabvu pamurume, but God, when he did that, he emphasized kuti paakati this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, hapana munhu anozotarisira bhonzo rake pasi, munhu anozotarisira flesh yake pasi. You see now. So Equality is whereby we are sharing equally without looking at my external or my internal factors. Just you and me sharing equally. If it's positions, we share. If it's money, we share. And it, but not
50-50
looking at external
circumstances.
circumstances. I'll give an example. Kuti, like leader Denford, you've got someone who is physically challenged, who is disabled, and then you are maybe you are tall. That person, or maybe let me give an example of a tall person and a short person. You want to watch a football match over a Jurawa, and then you are given matches same size of maybe or maybe stools to stand on so that you can watch the football. You get my point? So this shorter person is given the same stool as yours, same length, but Imimi, you've got an advantage already because you are tall, you were born tall, so it's an added advantage. So
Mm.
that's equality. We are given the same chairs, but there are other external factors that were not looked into. So equity now will now say, you lead a comrade Denford, I give you that stool, right? So that when you stand on that stool, you watch football over the Jurao. And then this shorter one, I'll look for a tall a stool that when I give him or her, and that when he stands on that stool, he will be able now. Anenge awenzana nemi, munenge mawenzana length, but iye abatsirwa this long chair, imimi mapiwa short chair. But at the end of the day, you are watching football equally. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It makes a lot of sense, and Champion Barbara, I would want to believe you are a teacher. You are a teacher. You make people understand things so is. I've understood it. Thank you very much.
I'm not necessarily I'm not necessarily a teacher. Our teacher doctor is here. I know he is itching maybe to chip in. So this year campaign theme is looking at equity, and it is being seen that equity is the only way to achieve gender equality. Without gender equity, there would never be gender equality. So do you agree, Kanatazo Jisa, in this sense? And tell us why you think is sure this is correct. Dr. Ranga, you are not here. I don't know whether Mama Chitins got Chitaura, Nezwe equity, Nezwe equality, and when we tried to explain, could this year is focusing on gender equity, and they're saying good. Gender equity is the only way to achieve gender equality, because we've been singing about gender equality 50-50, 50-50. But when it comes to positions, men would hold on to say, no, 50-50, me PR. So why do you want my constituents?
Sister Barbara, thank you. I'm sorry I missed quite a bit of the contributions from my brother Denford and yourself, because sometimes which kwala or somewhere which Kombedzi in the middle of nowhere kusina network. So but I get the gist of what you are saying. So equity, when we talk of equity, and Sister Barbara, I know my brother Denford was just saying you must be a teacher or something, the way you're explaining it. It's very plain, So equity is about giving people capacity, giving people access. Okay, so they are marginalized members of our society, whether it is women, whether it is minorities within minorities, that has been true, and people have heard of things like the affirmative action that has been done at universities and so forth. The whole purpose of some of those activities is to make sure that those who have been disadvantaged over the years, and this has taken centuries for these ills that have existed. So some of them you can't just say, "Mwana ari kubuda muchiutsi," somewhere in the middle of nowhere kuuzumba. Achava ne-same capacity nemwana ari kubuda mutown mumasvingo kana muharare
St. John's.
kana
Mwana
St.
anzi
John's.
St. John's.
Exactly. There's going to be a disparity. Does
Yeah.
it mean that that kid or that woman or that lady or that student, female student coming from Uzumba is not as intelligent? No. Sometimes it's about giving people capacity and access, equal access. Because most of the time we have realized that when people are given access, they perform. And you see that happening here in America as well. And this relates not just to women issues, but it relates to minorities. You know, sometimes we are to promote Vatema, but you don't get them. You don't get them anywhere near power. You just say we are doing it for them. Mansplaining, where we men become the ones to talk so well about women issues because we don't even give the women the mic, right? So my point being that when we talk equity, we say who is disadvantaged and how can we correct that. I heard my brother Denford talking about the historical aspects of all this stuff. A lot of that is traditional, for instance. So without changing people's mindsets, sometimes we are talking to ourselves. So I think equity is a no-brainer. It means that you want everybody to have equal access to be able to perform to their capacity. If you don't let them participate, there is no way you expect them to get my results. So you need to give them access. And you need to support them where they like saka mwana ari kubva kuchikwala kwala achada kuti ari kuverenga neparafini, right? Whereas ari mutown iye zvinhu zvangofanana hazvo nenyaya kuti zese hakuna but I'm just talking about these are some places where you would say, how do we need to support and promote women? Women, when they are allowed to, when nobody stands in their way, they do wonders. But we, the men, we come up with excuses why they shouldn't be taking the front seat, which is very selfish.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? When Champion Denford said that I must be a teacher, when we were trying to explain equity, and I couldn't explain it because sometimes if you explain in a sentence or you explain Nima words, some people will not understand. So I just said simply, equity is whereby imimi Dr. Makareba monzi mamira nemwana wenyu kana kuti neneighbor yenyu mupfupi muruda kuona bhora over ijurawo, imimi mopiwa masituro akafanana kuti mukwire. Imimi obviously mune advantage, bhora muchariona because makareba. Uyu mupfupi chero apiwa situro haambofa akariona bhora. So what should happen? Imimi mopiwa situro yenyu pfupi, and then the other one achapiwa situro yakareba, so much that kana akakwira pasituro iyoyo anobva aoenzana nemi height, makuona mese bhora zvakadii, makuona mese bhora zvakafanana. Ndo equity. Equality is whereby you are given the same stools kuti munzi tapiwa zvituro zvakafanana zvitori right, forgetting kuti kune ma-external factors that needs to be looked into. Maybe going on to the women issues, the issue of gender equality, like I explained, kuti white mukataura nezve-gender equality zvonzi power haina gender equality. That's what we were told. Some of us were told kuti this power hakuna kuti silver platter. You want to be given positions with silver platter, forgetting kuti the person wari kutaura iyeye, I'm a housewife, or maybe I'm a single mom, I'm a professional person, I'm also in politics. Iye ndinokumba ndinowacha ndinoita sei, ndinoona kuti vana vaenda kuchikoro, I have to see to it everything. Baba vachona vari right here, but baba vanongomuka wogeza wobuda woenda kumeeting yepolitics. Baba vanosvika kumeeting yepolitics on time, ini ndosvika meeting yaakundopera. Have you ever noticed muchiri kuZimbabwe kana paiitwa mameetings, half the time vana mai vanosvika mameetings yakuda kundopera, vana baba ndo vanotanga kusvika. Were you asking yourselves why it was like that? Baba anongomuka chikafu chake kana akanongodzwa kuti ndoda kuenda kwakati nenguva yakati, mai ototanga kubika, baba oenda kunogeza, uye ogara pasi odya, mai wasevha baba obuda oenda, mai vachatanga kutora mapureti aya wagomagezesa, wagotsvaira mumba, wagoenda kunogeza, wagochinja, wagobuda. Paanobuda meeting inenge yakutopera. These are the issues. Amwe mameetings they are done usiku. Uyai kumeeting nguva nhingi kwababa nhingi na7 o'clock, uyai na5 o'clock, no time dzekubika. So these were deliberate. These things were done deliberately to close, or maybe the women were not even considered kuti vangatora zvigaro. So it was a men's world. Everything was masculine. So even if women wanted to participate, that's why you saw kuti participate the single women, because akuna anovabvunza kuti uri kubvepi, wahangwa inani, you see now. So this equity thing, we are now looking at, let's say for instance, you want kune ma-councils, kune ma-constituencies. The equity thing, you will say, man, you look at constituencies, how many constituencies are there? 12, maybe in Bulawayo 12. Okay, 6 will be for women, 6 will be for men. And women will contest each other. No men will stand in those constituencies where there are women. Men will contest each other. But tell you what, hakuna murume anobvuma izvozvo.
Inini ndinobvuma, Sister Barbara. But
I
know it's a serious political question.
Hamupo ground. So men will never allow that to happen. Imi mune PR, endai ku PR as if not knowing kuti why was PR introduced. PR introduced at the time affirmative action. Because of this greediness nature that is in men, they could not give away the constituencies that were there. So they said, we would rather create to balloon the parliament. They were not worried about expenses, but they wanted to retain power, to maintain power. They could create my constituencies as my positions as.
So, my Sister Barbara, this is where you said, are women doing enough, right? So, unfortunately, some of these things you have to fight for. Because, like you rightly pointed out, the men, we are selfish. We want to keep it for ourselves. That's very unfortunate. But we have seen women's movement. You remember pakamboitika kunoku yanga iri nyaya yema-women issues where women marched to Washington. They demonstrated, and vamwe vanhu vakaita sana President Trump vasisiri in power right now, they suffered because the way they approach women issues zvakaita kuti women vagalvanize, but we have seen enough of this, vamobilize vati we don't want such a candidate to be our president because they don't care about us women. So I'm saying that to say, look, you are 50% of the population, if not 51%. This is where you need to organize as women. Of course, we can tell you how to do it as men, but my idea is that, look, you should be able to bring women together and say, look, guys, we are doing this for this to happen, for us to have representation. This is how we're going to lobby. And I looked at my students on another space a couple of days ago and got the fundraising. I'm not sure if you were on that space. But one thing I told my students, there's a good munoita rally around my members of parliament kuti isusu semast university students chasapota my candidates achaita fight for a law yokuti tiwane ma-grants. We want that to be written in law. So if you want our support, we are going to support you if you promise that this is one of your signature issues when you get into parliament. So we women need to organize that way also, where you say we're going to rally around this issue. I know this is a very topical issue, even within our movement, the citizen movement, and everyone will have their opinion. What I would say is that, look, organize, mobilize, and you have the numbers. So you do have the numbers when you work together, when you don't allow other people to divide you. And let's not get into this trap. Like every time you remember when Madam Gabe wanted to wish away a problem, America ndo yatitisa kudai, UK ndo yatitisa kudai. So let's also, women shouldn't fall into the same trap where you say, men will always divide us. Yes, it's true. Men who want to represent themselves, they want to do what is in their best interest. But when women come together, when women, we don't look, Hillary Clinton runner for office, the next thing is akaregera Bill achichita. You know, and you say to yourself, come on now, guys. You know, can we do better? So these are some of the issues that when you hear how sometimes we talk and we look, we look here, we should be looking far beyond because when we see a woman vice president or a woman president, that sends a strong message just by itself. When we have 50% of parliament being women, that sends a strong message to our girls and boys who are growing up. So that's my 2 cents, Sister Barbara.
That's not even 2 cents. That's 10 cents.
Thank you. Mnozani not ours, Sister Barbara, but you know, I'm trying to be like you.
when I grow up, I want to be like Dr. Ranga.
I know. Mromo, you know, but hey, I
Yeah.
am just saying.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You know, people miss a lot. You know, there's no way you can hear people because people don't want to teach other people. You know, like politics. Hakuna izvozvo because they want vanhu vasingaoni, vanhu vasingazivi. Yeah, so like you rightfully said, kuti women should fight for their rights. Do you know kuti inini, I've always told women kuti if there's something that you want, don't be shy to come out in the open. Because there are women who say kuti anoda zvigaro, but when it's a man who is standing, they will never say kuti murume anoda zvigaro. Ndochida kachigaro. I want to lead you. I want to show you that I'm able to lead you. Ndochida. And I'm not even threatened to my statements to sinakana nebasa rese kuti hanzi anokara ndotochikara chigaro because I want it. What's wrong about me being ambitious and being open?
And Sister Barbara, you have my vote any day. Let me tell you that.
And I've always said, Dr. Ranga, women, they don't know how powerful they are. If you are a woman and you know what you want and you show, or maybe you display a capacity, or maybe men identify kuti iwewe une capacity. You know, vanotonyara even chero kusatokuvhotera vanotonyara because vanenge vachitoona kuti capacity yacho unechi unayo. Like when I was in the trade union, if I tell you kuti inini, I was once a president of a union, commercial workers union, whose congress was dominated by men and only 13 were women. But the commercial industry is dominated by women. But come kuma congress kwachona kune kuri dominated by men.
Those are rume tinoda zvigaro.
Yes, meaning kuti positions of influence anoendesa vanhu kucongress ese anotorwa nevarume vakadzi varipo. because vakadzi vanenge vachingotya, vamwe vanenge vachingotya kumba kuti ndikazotora chigaro ndikazoenda kumameetings kumba ndozonzi kudii handiti. So inini it was a congress again about 230 delegates, 13 were women. And then they approached me to say they wanted me to be the president. So ini ndaifunga kuti vari kundiitisa, because I know that sometimes people will come to you think and pretending as if they want you, and yet vanenge vachiputambisa bhora remapepa vachida kuti uconteste munhu wavo uye iwo wodyiwa. So inini I told them, you guys, if you want me to be the president, you are going to campaign for me. Ndakavatuma maboys. That you are going to campaign for me. I'm not even going to campaign because when I came to this Congress, I did not aim any position because I know you guys could amudi nezvigaro zvenyu. So I just came to support. So if you identified kuti inini I can be your president, then mushandi campaign. And I'm not going to campaign. And I'm telling you, this happened. I have to say this, Dr. Ranga. It's just that hapana vakadzi vakawanda panapa. But ndoma stories anofana kusimbisa vakadzi. And it kuti inini ndakakampenerwa nevarume, ndakarara, ende ndakarara flat vachimhanya, vachikampena, vachimhanya. And that was 2014, Dr. Ranga. So yeah, so ndakakampenerwa inini nevarume, and day of my elections we were 5, 4 men, 1 woman. Dr. Ranga, I won the election zvinotyisa. I got 200 and something votes. Mwakaita 1.
Oh my goodness.
Mwakaita 3. Totally yao yange singa.
That was a landslide, Sister Barbara. Those are three good muna August, yes.
Ndozvatiri kuita muna August manje. Regai munhu ndozvatiri kuita izvo zviri. Kamukomana kachibhura madhara manje kachipinda kamukomana.
Those are
yeah, I became the president, female president, for that matter.
That's
and
excellent.
What they supported me, they respected me, and I never, my general secretary was, let's come to the executive. Executive, Yangeni 6, 3 my president, 2 vice presidents, general secretary, 2 vice, 2 my vice general secretary, and then 1 treasurer. So the 7, 6 women, and in 1 woman. That's the executive.
That's amazing.
That's the executive, Dr. Ranga. And come now, my decisions now. The guys now, they wanted to manipulate me. They thought kuti vuma because they voted for me. Manje, inini kwandiri a no is a no, a yes is a yes. And kana chino chacho chisingati benefit my members. Ndaitwaudza kuti zvamuda kuti tite zvino benefit zviri benefit my members here. President, tangachunga kuti tikadai tozodai tikastata tazodai my members achazodai. No, members first. Imimi kwekupedzisira. Go and work very hard, recruit, we get mari, and then I give you increment. And handisingapi increment pasina mari yawedzerwa mumakofasi. Kana kuda kuti kupay from where? These are membership monies. They are supposed to go back to my members for trainings and what. So you can't benefit on membership fees. Agreed.
That's why we need women running the government, Sister Barbara.
Yeah.
Because yes, and
Exactly.
we don't even know how to budget. Because these men just keep spending and without having a thought about tomorrow. But anyway.
Yeah. So it's possible.
That's a powerful story.
Women should just come out in the open and they should declare their interest. Inini one, but sometimes munhu anotoapproachwa nevanhu kuti komadi kupinda apa. Inini here ndinozvigona. Inini handina kumboramba ndakati kana muchida kuti ndipinde muchandivhotera.
And that's really, while you were saying that, I was just thinking about how a lot of us citizens are just volunteering to work for the citizen movement, right?
Mhm.
They say we want one goal and we know the people who can push our goal forward. And
Mhm.
tese kwatiri kubva tiri kukambaina tiri kuita union members saying Barbara should be the one to lead us. She's going to deliver on our behalf. And that's a very powerful story. And it would be interesting to know what has happened since and what happened before you became president. What kind of success stories did you have compared to what had happened prior to your coming in?
The union was in shambles, but it took shape. It took shape. We had no offices because my union was affected by the factionalism. My union is the one that used to be headed by my Mativenga. And Dzakapindira politics, the union, it was the biggest union in Zimbabwe, Commercial Workers Union.
Mm.
It split, I think it split 5 times. But when I got there, I managed to unite 4 factions. We became one. And that's when we had I was leading the delegation of uniting the faction. President is a member, is Aninga Chishanda. I was working, the president. So it's not
Mm.
full time, but general secretary full time. So and then I told you, look, guys, you guys, you don't even have that a right you members because this one is the union. And then when we started my negotiations, we said we don't want to see a member of staff. This is a membership issue. We don't want to see you guys because we employed you. Get away from our things. And then we started moving. And then when we went for Congress, people said, no, we want Barbara to be our president, basing on what I had done. And then when I was there, I managed to maintain unity. And then the union grew. We recruited. We had no offices. I left them with offices. We were not affiliated to we had arrears in the ZCTU. We managed to pay all the arrears. We became members of ZCTU, and that's when I was also a national secretary in the ZCTU. So, everything went on well. So, and I left the union intact. So this is Dr. Ranga is connecting. So this is what happened. So I was saying with the women, the ball is in our court to decide what we want. Don't wait for men to give you, because they will never they will never give you anything. Pana roda kutaura here asimudze ruoko ndimpe mic. I said today I'm not going to give anyone mic without asking for the mic. Anyone who wants to speak, I've got one request there. Who's this one? Mbuya wa V. Yes, yesterday I was calling you Mbuya wa V. Kuti Mbuya wa muzotaura. And I'm trying to approve here. I think you are now a speaker. Oh, what happened? Mbuya wa V.
Enda pano.
Ma speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mungataura henyu kana muchida kutaura.
Ndatombopopota ndatumira niko ndanguri ndabvira kurequesta. Ndatumira niko, I think ndatumira sisisi nepu kuti ndigamuchireiwo. Makadiko vedu hama dzamwari, hama dzangu vanhu vamwari.
Yaiva tiripo.
Ndaida kuti makorokotoka necelebration yevakadzi, Women's Day. As what I was listening panapa, very good work iri kuitwa nemadzimai. Handinozonyanya kugara hangu asi I was just listening. Chida kunzwa kuti chii chiri kuitika. Andichiteerawo maconversations enyu ndichiona kuti muri ku handi Barbara ndakambokontaktai tikazorasana. How strong you are kuti madzimai asumukire. So I was just listening. Saka ndaida ndingoti makurokoto tichicelebrate tese International Women's Day. Kana kuti it's a women's, is it International Week?
Thank you so much mama. Ndibate futika takarasana hao ndibate mondisira nhamba dzenyu kudm to continue patakasira. Yes, thank you so much mama for those nice words. Yes, we need to encourage women and support women. Isusu vakadzi tisi tonofanira kutosimudzirana. We must not bash each other, you know, even kukorektana. Kana tichikorektana takatikorektanai tega pasina varume, kwete kuda kuti ndokorekta mbuya nekuti ndokoonererwa nadhokta waripo awo. Mbuya makaita sei, honai makapfeka sei, aiwa ndinokudhonzerai pasaidhi, gadzirai pitipoti iri kurembera iyo. Kwete kuti ndobva ndakuti imi mbuya mugadzirai, ndobva ndatodaidzira. You know, it's not what sisters should do. But my sisters anosapotana, my sisters anohakana. Brother Washington and then Brother Denford muchitedzana makadaro.
Makadiko, happy madzimai, happy Women's Day. I'm so happy to be speaking on such an important occasion. There are two things that I always say. If there's anyone or if there are people that are powerful, women are the most powerful people that we have. And it's not Tibatsirani, because I think men have really done a good job of lowering your values so that you appear as if you are the weaker race or the weaker ones, and men are the stronger ones. It's actually the other way around. Men are weak or weaker than women. Women, you are so powerful. You're so powerful that you don't even know how much powerful you are. And I just want you to recognize that and to have that in your minds, that we are the powerful ones. Varume can be powerful because of the privilege that we had from way back, where women used to be behind the kitchen cooking and just raising family while the man goes out there and work. But tables have turned. We are all working. And some women are even earning more than men.
much, Washington. And thank you as well to Champion Barbara. We continue to celebrate this day. We are very proud of you women. I'm only going to be speaking about the experience that you had at the Congress, the trade union that you led. But before commenting on what you said and your exemplary leadership that you exhibited during your tenure there, I think I need to speak of some of the things that we take lightly, but they can also influence negatively to how women have to rise from the bottom to the top. Pane zvinhu zvidiki zvatinongotora zvatinofunga kuti pane zvinhu zvatinoona sezvidiki asi zviri zvihombe, especially the way in which we speak. Makamboona here kuti vanhu both vechikadzi kana kuti vechirume vachitaura chimwe chinhu vanodegradha vanhukadzi pakuru chaipo. Anything that is substandard, they always say iwe hakuna kungoita semunhukadzi, haukwanisi kuita semunhurume here maona. So meaning to say all that is substandard is associated with women, and that's where it starts. Sometimes unotoona kuti iwe simba mani, simba semunhurume maona, kana kuti changamuka semunhurume, hakuna kuti ndo pazvinotangira ipapo. And sometimes you don't know that this thing it's building up to where people cannot even understand that you don't need to be so degraded to that law. So when we speak, sometimes we always think that why is it that women, they are being subjected to such levels? It's because of some things that we think we are just speaking in passing, but they impact so much in our growing, in how we survive. Coming back to what you were explaining to us, how you got into the trade union and how you got into the leadership, how you influenced the women, men to actually propel you to the summit of the trade union organization. It is something that a few women that are here, and I also implore you that whenever you are going to be campaigning and explaining to women to take charge of themselves and take charge of organizations and even within our movement, you need also to give such a strong example that you give to us, because it's so inspirational. Why am I saying it's inspirational? It's in two ways. Pakuti, you made use of the men that were there to get to the position. Unfortunately, the men that propelled you to the summit of the organization didn't know that you are a strong woman, and rightfully you said, as you were intending or as you were making decisions, because they knew that they are the ones who made you to be there, or they campaigned for you to be at the top. They thought they could manipulate you. But also to say, even a woman who hasn't been propelled to the top, by just being elected to the top, some men would want to take advantage of women and say, we just want to take them there as figureheads, but they are going to be manipulating from behind the scenes. So imimi pamaenderera mberi michitaura kuti pandakanga ndapresident pakatomboita varume vakada kuti kushandise kuti madecisions amunofanira kuva muri munoita, you have got to do them actually knowing that it is not you who made yourself to be there, but it is us, but you stood your ground. These are the characters of women that we need even within our movement when you are elected. You know what? If you go there and exhibit what you did like that, it also gives inspiration to other women to say, no, we have got to work like that. And you realize that women, you will be respected. And I think we need to really take example of what you have done. I just wanted to say thank you very much, Leader Barbara, for that. And please just share that with other people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Champion Danford. God of Mercy, and then CCC NAP. That's God of.
My sister Barbara, it seems
Sorry,
like
I
she
missed
is
that.
speaking now. Sorry.
Sorry, Sister Barbara, I missed that.
Okay, I said, do you have anything to say?
Do I have?
Okay.
I don't know what's happening.
Do you have anything to say?
Oh, okay. No. You caught me unawares.
Okay. Just think of what you want to say, and then we give Dr. Ranga. And then Mbuya kana muchida kudzokorora. And other listeners, if you want to contribute to our discussion, this is a discussion in a protocol, guys. Zviko kana uchida kutaura, you know what to do.
Sister Barbara. Sister Barbara. Thank you, Sister Barbara. Inini, I'm so happy with you. My brother Washington is here. My brother Danford, Sister Mbuya Wavi, my sister God of Mercy, everybody here. I think it's great that we are having a discussion, and we are sharing my experiences. Mostly, we want to hear what women are doing, and your story is a powerful story. And I know that there are so many stories that women have about how they are running the world, because everything is about running the world. I'll tell you that, of course, I went to medical school. It was a great education. But when I went to business school, I learned how the world is run, who runs the world, and what the networks are for the different aspects of the world, from China to South Africa to America, everywhere. So when we hear my stories of women succeeding at what they do, which most of us we already know, that together na Sister Barbara tikaringarite maths titaure nyaya the exponential growth panapa panotoita nyaya hombe, because women are as equally talented, they are as equally capable, but for so long they have been sidelined. And that's not just a disadvantage to the women, it's a disadvantage to society, it's a disadvantage to countries. The countries that have been smart enough to realize that men should not stand in the way of women, they are doing very well. Saka mukauya kunoku ku America, you see, I mean, I'm not saying America is perfect in every aspect, but there are certain things that over the years they have perfected their union to make it better. And the more integration, the more everyone participates in the economy, in the society, the better the countries have become, the more productive the societies that tend to deliberately say to women, we want to give you a front row seat. And sometimes that to some people means I'm looking to favor women. That's not it. It's actually those people who are saying women come to the front seat, they are doing so for selfish reasons, because they know you put a woman in front, she wants results. I was giving an example of when you get into a house. If a man gets into a house, right, vana vachitamba zvinhu zviri all over the place, you know what men will ask? We're going to ask, ndiani adai izvi? We create a mess where it makes it a bigger mess. Whereas a woman will come and say, hey guys, pick up this stuff, let's get it done. And it gets done immediately. So I'm saying that to say, by not hearing the perspective of women, by not letting them participate, we are doing ourselves, our society, humanity a disservice. And there are so many powerful stories like Sister Barbara's that people will benefit from hearing from. And that's why we want to hear from more women, if there are women on the space, what they are doing in their lives, how it's changing the world. There are a lot of great stories out there, and we will benefit from hearing all those stories. Mana Dr. Rangama wetupa mic, we will talk kusika madongawa nenyanga, but sometimes we just want to listen. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my sister Barbara, ndofunga mukamboridza music pachaita another woman. I saw my sister Mazimai out there. She's doing a lot of great stuff, you know. But anyway, I'm just calling her out. Thank you. Sister Barbara Ndapedza.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Ranga. Phone yange yaloka.
My
Yes.
goodness, Sister Barbara. Tichaita sei nemi mukambobvisa vanhu, mukamboita sei? Naya woman.
Aiwa nobvisa vanhu. Mazimai ndavaona. Let me just welcome Mazimai to the space. Ndichawapa champion Ali wapei mic ndichiridza rwiyo. Ndikakata rwiyo rwemazimai ndimi makutaura. Tofunga ndimi matatamirira minoti muripo here tichitanga when he started this conversation. Issues the gender equality and gender equity being the campaign theme this year, embracing equity. And we were discussing what equality is and what equity is. And also I had to share my story to say, as women, we have to know kuti we are able, and we have to identify kuti what is it that you want in life. But we just have to identify kuti I want this one. I want to stand here so that I can represent my people. I'll be able to do ABCD. And once you do that, men will vote for you definitely. But if you don't have a plan, they'll not vote for you. So I'm gonna play this song, and then we'll have Mazimai coming in. Mbuya waenda here. Mbuya kana muchidawo kudzoka futi. Nhasi toita zvatoda nemamaiki. Tinosimbomanyimwa kune mamwe maplatform.
To celebrate the woman. Let the world celebrate the woman. A world would mean nothing without a woman. Let the world give women a chance. Are you a woman? Let the world celebrate the woman. A world would mean nothing without a woman. Let the world give women a chance. Sister, the girl, child, and mother, you are a woman. Let the world give women a chance. Why celebrating the woman? Socio-political, cultural, economic achievements of the woman in the past, present, and future. Let the world give women a chance. Who is a woman? The most sensitive, so caring, so tender. The most loving in the world. Woman's right is human right. No to violence against women. No, 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 no. No. No, 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 no. Pardon if your lungs. Pardon your lungs. Allah fam. Wirakani, wirakani. Yeah, we find it. Pardon your lungs. Pardon your lungs. Allah fam. Tu cherches l'enfant, tu l'amour, elle a dans les douleurs. Pardon your lungs. Pardon your lungs. Allah fam. Tu rêves la nuit, tu sens la cigarette, tu tapes sur la femme. Pardon your lungs. Non. Pardon your lungs. Allah fam. Pourquoi violenter la femme dans le monde entier? Je dis non. Pardon your lungs. Pardon your lungs. Allah fam. Violence physique, psychologique, économique, absolument sexuelle. Pardon your lungs. Pardon your lungs. Allah fam. Gomil misu. Gomil misu. Gomil misu me. Gomil misu me niji mwena. Gomil misu. Gomil misu me. Niji mwena. Wamfu wanele. Gomil misu. Gomil misu me. Shedding my tears for the woman. Shedding my tears. I'm shedding my tears for the woman. Crying in the place of the woman. Shedding my tears. I'm shedding my tears for the woman. Shedding my tears. I'm shedding my tears for the woman. Celebrate, celebrate, woman, celebrate. Celebrate, see you, let's celebrate, woman, let's celebrate, let's celebrate,
Yes, and they celebrate the women. Nice song there. Thank you so much. Those that are coming in, we are celebrating the Women International Women's Day. Mazmai, I'm sorry, Mapiwa Mike. Okay. Whilst we are waiting for Mazmai to connect, who else wants to contribute?
Hi everyone, co-host and co-host. Thank you, Sister Barbara, for calling me out. I just thought of coming in briefly because I've been very busy and I'm still very busy.
Yeah.
As a woman, you know how we do things. We like multitasking, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So I just thought I would come here and say hello to everyone and appreciate everyone for the work you're doing for the movement. And is a Women's International Day, I would like to appreciate all the women who are doing things, especially for the Triple C movement. I see you as women of excellence, women like Deborah, who are standing up to the challenge. It's not easy to be a woman in politics, but women are standing up and helping drive the ship. May God bless you and may God strengthen you. I am a believer, and I've always done politics in the background as a teacher in Zimbabwe. And when I relocated, I've always cheered the opposition. But this last year, when Triple C was formed, I decided to join the movement and stand up to be counted, because I'm sure most of you are sick and tired of what's happening. I have no intention of going to settle in Zimbabwe, but my heart bleeds when I see the country being destroyed. And there are women who are standing by and watching and enjoying the loot when children are disappearing. When the girl child is being sexually abused, when women are having to wear recycled underwear, I get so disturbed. And women are watching, and women are seeing those bells and bells and bells of recycled underwear along the streets of Harare or in Zimbabwe. As a woman, I feel so reduced and humiliated. As a mother, as a sister, as a church member, as a political party member, I feel that things are not right in Zimbabwe, and somebody has to stand up and do something. We have to stand up, we have to wake up. Like Esther, we have to fast and pray. We have to approach the king. We have to act. It's not just about praying, but it's about action as well. I was raised by a very strong woman. My mother was a very strong personality. She had a teaching job, but she lived in the village like any other villager. She participated in all village activities, including farming, going to the village funerals, going to church, doing anything that you can think of. She was very strong. And these are the women we want doing great things, especially those who have managed to go abroad. They are doing a lot. But in Zimbabwe, you don't see that happening. People are deprived. They don't have decent places to deliver their children. It's like we are going back to the Stone Age, where people are having to deliver children in the kitchen. 2023, 21st century. The disappointing bit, or the saddening bit, is that this is a man-made. It's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. We have women who have great potential. If given a chance, they will drive Zimbabwe to greatness. But because of the oppression, because of the marginalization, because of corruption, because of selfishness. There is no opportunities for women. There is no room to maneuver. Women are seen as objects. They're just placeholders. You don't hear them speak. I've never heard Ma'am Mnangagwa speak. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never heard the address. Like my Obama would talk to people. Up to now, she goes around talking to people, and when she's speaking, you sit down to listen. I've never done that for my president's wife. I don't know if you have heard her or if you have seen her speaking. The few women we have, women in power in Zimbabwe, these are the women we see exploiting other women, not feeling sorry for other women. For example, the Mary Chiwenga ordeal. We all know that she did what she did. But in a vulnerable moment, women in power should at least stand up and stick out for her. But you don't see that in Zimbabwe. We have lost More Blessing Ali, a woman who went through such a horrible death, but you can't hear women speaking in Zimbabwe against that. When she died, nobody knew, or at least the ZANU-PF, it became obvious that she was killed for political reasons because of the way they were quiet. If it wasn't political, they should have stood up and they were supposed to speak out, but their silence tells a lot. Any woman would have been moved by More Blessing Ali's death and they would have spoken out. But did they speak out? No. Why not? We are hearing of children disappearing daily. We hear Nyaze Mabinya every day, and women are quiet. When a child disappears in England, it's breaking news. In Zimbabwe, it's business as usual. But they are women. Celebrating International Day of Women, to me, as a Zimbabwean woman, I don't feel it, I don't get it, because there's nothing to celebrate. There's a lot of suffering in Zimbabwe. There's a lot of inhuman things happening in Zimbabwe. There's a lot of oppression. There's a lot of marginalization. There's a lot of all the negative things are happening to women in Zimbabwe. Women are having to resort to vending to make ends meet. I'm not undermining vendors, but if everyone has been turned into a vendor, then it becomes something else. You see women crossing borders, climbing up.
Hello, Pepe. Hello. Sorry to interrupt. but as the women, as we claim to be, or as we claim to be, let's talk about Job Scala's wife right now. We are there, we are feminine. Maybe you have your husband there, and maybe your husband is out there, maybe they're doing his.
Thank you, my brother. Yes, that's very valid. Job Amaisikala has been without a husband for almost 7 months, 8 months now. And the women in Zimbabwe are quiet. They can't even stand up for Maisikala, advocate for her. She's having to look after children on her own like a widow. Whilst her husband is in prison. No trial, no justice. Whatever crime he committed, he deserves a fair trial. But women are quiet. Influential women in Zimbabwe, they are busy doing other things. Busy kutukana pa Facebook, busy kutukana. Yes, the marriage bill was changed. And the women didn't even know. And now they are feeling the heat now. They now understand what's going on, but it's too late. Thank you for giving me the time. I can go on and on and on and on. But the situation in Zimbabwe is just bad. As a woman, I'm not happy. I am disappointed with the majority of women in Zimbabwe who are not speaking out, who are not standing up for justice, who are not calling out the government to order. Thank you, Sister Barbara.
Oh yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Masmai. That was powerful and touching at the same time. We just also want to celebrate you, Masmai. Basa Ramuruku Bata. Yesterday I was saying that we have to appreciate vanhu vachiri vapenyu kwete kuzoda kutaura parufu rwenyu mafa. You are one such kind of a person who is so committed, like you're talking about multitasking. You are one person who can multitask. Inini, I identified you before even knowing you. You could see everything. You are very good at sharing information. Information is power. And I believe people that are reading whatever you are sharing, Masmai, they are being equipped, they are being empowered. But the other disheartening part about us Zimbabweans, we don't want to read. And if you want to hide something from for Zimbabweans, put it in writing. We are so lazy to write, yet you post so valid things, information that is very valid. You even when you see a video or a picture, you actually post it with an explanation. You put that picture into context, what's happening at the moment. It's just what you do, Masma, is just out of this world. It's just excellent. It's just brilliant. Please continue fighting for women. Continue fighting for men. Continue fighting for Zimbabwe. We want a Zimbabwe that is liberated. When you're living in the first world country, unenge wakazara neshunguti. The services that we get here compared to the services back home, you shed tears every day say. And most people in Zimbabwe, they don't even know kuti some of the things are possible. That's why we see even President Chamisa, if he's post a spaghetti road, a bullet train, people think he's exaggerating. It's not possible. It is possible. Spaghetti roads are possible in Zimbabwe. Bullet trains are possible. It's just that most people don't have exposure. They don't even know that those things exist in other countries. How sad, honestly. Thank you so much, Mazmai, for that powerful speech, must I say. Who else is a speaker here? Now is Ananzani. Now, let me say the Anzi, now really concerned. Sorry, I muted you because you spoke before when Mazmai was speaking. So you can now speak. It's now your turn. Over to you.
Like the last speaker, the Ataura Zwine, like I can't like really. My son is bad, but I almost gave up my name.
Speaking whatever.
My son is bad, but
Speaking Ndebele, we can hear.
Kuluma siyakuzwa.
Yeah, mina like I think which like I really feel for Job Scala's wife. Would like today is Women's Day, like Women's whatsoever. Uzwanjani for a liberator of the country, like would akala endlini. Maybe Ujob sent a message a Women's Day. Is what must we do? Because us were ready to fight for liberation yet. Angazi maybe ngawula ma sell out now. Bengabe bengizwa because but I don't get in a lot of platforms because my voice. Abangaziyo, they can recognize it. I'm ready to fight for let us be a new ama war veterans because the way that we brought up and the way we are living is so different. So different, like I've lived my whole entire life here in Zimbabwe. I've never gone abroad, even crossed the borders. I'm saying boys lapa like smoking weed, basically wasted. Like, do you know what the future leaders of these boys that are being wasted are? Abantwana bakhathesi like abama-leaders on allow that drive ama-Bugatti, that drive ama-Veyron, that drive like they are being trained to suppress these future bona generation to come. It's wasted. On the ground. Parara. I'm telling you the truth. Kids are wasted. Like the 14-year-olds, 15, but up until my 20s and stuff, people are wasted. I'm on the ground. I'm seeing. But we wari ku tops and they are the ones that are being groomed to lead these wasted people. I don't know if I'm making my point clear. The people on top are grooming their children to lead these wasted people. Because like where I stay, I'm seeing like maybe let's say 99% of the youths that are here, they have no ambition. They have no ambition. 0%. They have no ambition. You give them a pack of that wheat, $8 and stuff, then they say their day is enough and stuff like that. And people are wasted. But we might talk we're in diaspora or something, but I myself, I'm on the ground. And I'm seeing with the road that's happening. Let's just take a moment. Their mothers, that are being wasted. And do you know what those mothers are not being celebrated now because my youth actually, and even the children on the street, they are so wasted with it. They don't even know the value of a woman. They don't. From morning up until now, there's no one that even said with a happy woman's day or happy woman's whatsoever. Socially, people are wasted. I don't know how we can turn this up with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now really concerned for that powerful submission on the situation back home, and you spoke highly of yes, Mrs. Kala is one of the women. Whilst you are celebrating International Women's Day, did she ever celebrate that? How do you celebrate when your husband is incarcerated without trial? You know, so it's almost a year now. It's gonna be a year very soon, and yeah, it's so painful. Like Mazmai said, Kuti, I think there's something wrong about Zimbabwe. Definitely something wrong about these women organizations. They are so quiet, very quiet. Those women organizations, they can demonstrate, they can march, unlike the opposition. But I don't know. Maybe it's capture. I don't know. Yes, it has been it has been a long space. It has been a long space, and I think we are tired of talking now. I don't think if I say we end this space now, pana angatsamwa here kuti tite end the space. If there's someone who is burning or maybe wants to share with us, wants to say something, but we've been here from 7 o'clock, the UK time. Yeah. Now it's 24 minutes to 10. Yeah, I think we've celebrated enough. I just want to thank all of you, especially those who contributed. I personally learned something. I learned a lot from you guys. Yeah, especially the men. You know, I I never expected we can hear men speaking like this, supporting the cause, supporting women, especially on the issue of equity. Um, you know, even the issue of gender equality, where Champion Ali even said, "Kuti, we no longer have to wait for our wives to come and cook whilst they are coming from work in Indendiri Popamba. I can cook. Iye wati achiuya kumboona baba wabika. There's nothing wrong about that. But because our culture, it defined us according to gender roles. To some people, it's like, you know, it's a taboo for a man to cook. And yet, most hotels, the chefs are men. And you know, being a chef, it's a highly paid job. But vanogeza mapureti wakadzi. And then I was asking myself, kuti matrix yacho inombofamba sei? Maybe zvanga zvichitoda doctor manje, doctor we are ending this space. I think one day you should explain why is it most hotels the chefs are men and vanogeza mapureti vanowaridza mubhedha vakadzi, and when you go home chef anobikira machef anoda kubikirwa nemukadzi asina kana kumbotraina kubika, anotogara pasi kuti bika, even mukadzi asingagoni kubika anotosarudza kudya mbodza just because he feels kuti sadza rinofanira kubikwa nemukadzi kana taakuumba.
Everything where we hear people complaining that Triple C is not doing enough. Triple C doesn't want to do this. You know, in Zimbabwe, when you're doing politics, it's like you're walking on eggshells. You really have to be careful. Anything can be anything, you know. That's what the situation is now. What you say, what you do, where you go, anything can be turned into anything by those people. You can find yourself getting arrested for saying something that you might have thought that it's going to help. Like you can see this issue of Al Jazeera. They have got a whole ministry, whatever that is, I don't know what they call it, that they created that is supposed to catch thieves. And then someone comes and does it for free for them. And that person is being is being insulted for doing it. So what is the purpose of that thing, of that ZAC? Because it's even wasting more money. Because to run that department, a lot of money has to be used. And anyone who is caught by ZAC, in 2 minutes, that person has been acquitted. What is wrong here? Is it ZAC? Is it the justice system? Or it's both? It's everyone. So I don't think women are not doing enough. It's because their hands are tied. So the only thing that we can do so that women can be able to express themselves in Zimbabwe is to make sure that Zimbabwe is free. It's free from the current tyrants that are ruling us. It's the only way. So that's what I think. And thank you everyone for tonight. Have a good night. I'm also tired.
Okay, thank you so much, God of Mercy. I don't need to add or to subtract to what you've just said. Like I said, we are ending this space, and I'm gonna play a song for women. All the women that are here, what you have to know is you are a superwoman. Even the men that are here, please tell your wives that they are superwomen. Tell your wives that we are saying Happy International Women's Day. Maybe hamuna kutombotaura muchimuka mangomuka ukangowasiya wakadaro. Maybe vamwe vacho havatozizivi nokuti i-Women's Day, especially the housewives. Some they don't even know. So we have to conscientize them on this special day. Thank you so much.
Sister Barbara, sorry, can I just interrupt?
Yes.
Yes. I was going to say this before you finish. I want to celebrate the most important people in my life, the two women. The one who looked after me from pregnancy to who I am, the most powerful woman on earth, my mom. And also my wife, the one who also gives me the chance to continue to do what I like, what I love, sharing, being on spaces and meeting different people, and doing what we believe would change things in Zimbabwe. I just wanted to end with that I really cherish these people. They are very important to me. And I also want to extend to the wives of my brothers who are here, my sisters, yourself, Masmai, and all those that are behind anything that is being done, anything that is big. It may be direct or indirect. My heart goes to them. I also want to lastly acknowledge my Scala. She's going through very difficult times. And not only my Scala, the Chitungwiza 22 the women are going through some very, very tough times. So I can even go on further to Mboneni's wife. There is so much in parents that we can add to put together and celebrate and also remember that, you know, we've got those people that are going through tough times because of difficulties that has come because of the political situation in our country. And let's not forget them, because sometimes they can easily be forgotten when instant accidents happens. So with those little words, I hand the mic back to you, my sister Barbara. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Champion Ali. And also, you forgot. Okay, you forgot to name this one because Mnochari Pisco Namambo Pana. You forgot to say Happy International Women's Day to Queen Shoshe.
He's my brother. Mkanya.
I know he's bending, but he can't talk. Akasunga muromo. Saka totaura zvatoda chifu. Yeah, I want to say Happy International Women's Day to Queen Shoshe. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We are signing off. We'll meet again next Tuesday. We are having a fundraiser for the Women Task Force. Please join us. Every Tuesday we'll be here 9 o'clock Zim time. Please come. Let's support the Women Task Force back home. Okay. Thank you so much. And good night.